Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 170 of the Pop Culture History Podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and as always, I'm joined by my girl, Brittney Savage. Brittney, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. We have a special topic to talk about because we actually, guys, this show is kind of long overdue because for pop culture today, we're going to talk about the influx of professional wrestling involved with pop culture. But before that, someone just celebrated a few months back, November 2009, November 6th to be exact. Man, we are going on 10 years, this year being 11, of your first matchup on SmackDown against the Glamazon Beth Phoenix at the time. Now, how does that feel?
Whew. Makes me feel very old. It also kind of feels like it wasn't that long ago. It's
No.
crazy.
Well, that's the thing. I just did a show not too long ago with AJ Kirsch on the MLW broadcast team, and what's interesting is I get to know great people like yourself, Britt, and a lot of people in the professional wrestling industry with what I do through podcasting and these various platforms. Like we were just talking, like, can you believe like this is 2009, right? So 2009, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 25, like that blows my mind. Like that iconic match, that build, that feud, that heaven versus hell, like that's even 11 years old. It's like, geez, where the hell did the time go?
Yeah, it literally flies right out the window. It's crazy.
It does. And I think what a lot of people appreciate, and I think for me around like 2009, like the mid 2000s, like I remember 2005, it's NWA Cyberspace, right? Billy Firehawk, John the Sure Thing Shane, Greek God Papa Don, shout out to Papa Don, and Havoc, The Solution, people like The Naturals, a lot of people going through that promotion, New York Wrestling Connection. Like the Northeast, and still to this day, the Northeast has some of the best wrestling promotions out there, and we rep it on the East Coast.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And I think what's amazing around this time period is with WWE, like you're going with the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match that I mentioned, and the rise with CM Punk as the World Heavyweight Champion, and then going into WrestleMania, Shawn and Taker, the whole nine here. It's an amazing time to be a professional wrestling fan. I'm not gonna lie. We said November 2009 being the anniversary and being the date of this particular matchup that we're gonna get into. But I was just starting out my senior year in high school, so this was my graduation year. And I remember going to New York Wrestling Connection shows. I remember you being on the card a lot. I remember seeing a lot of your work with Nikki Adams and a lot of work just around WSU and the whole nine. And I also remember you. There was a point there where you were an interviewer, and I remember you interviewing yours truly, Alex Reynolds. So, like, I remember that face. I remember that tan face, this blonde-haired girl looking as only as she could look, to quote the Nature Boy Ric Flair, had a little flavor to it. I just remember myself, man, this girl, she's got the look. She's beautiful. She can work. Like I enjoyed your work. So when I saw you on SmackDown, like, I mean, SmackDown used to be what, 8 to 10 on a Friday, right? So I remember
Yeah.
I come home, I'll do the old homework ski. Then you get on, put on some Friday Night SmackDown. Here comes, all right, and I always screw this up because I know you as Brooke Carter with Miss April, but Brittney Carter, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
they made me do Brittany Carter.
So you're Brittany Carter, and I see this young girl, this face. She's just waiting for Beth Phoenix with her. I believe she's wearing the green attire at the time. Like she had a lot of those beautiful attires, like green, blue, what have you. But Beth Phoenix was Beth Phoenix, Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix, just a beauty, the Glamazon, former women's champion, former Divas champion. We'll be here all day with her list of accomplishments. But you are Brittany Carter. You were going in to Friday Night SmackDown against Beth Phoenix. And as we were talking before with this, because I remember, like I mentioned, the WSU and the NYWC time period, you were only a few months into the biz.
Yeah, I was, let's see, 2 months shy of being a year into it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so very green, very, very green.
And we're not just talking about Beth Phoenix's attire here. We're talking
Yeah.
about I mean, here's the thing that's okay though, because let me ask you, like, when opportunity comes, and I believe they were in for. All right, now here's the thing: where they were in New York for this, right? Now, how did you get involved with this? Because I thought it was great to see. I love seeing. That's the thing. People always take away the enhancement matches. Oh, here comes the squash. Here comes this. Here comes that. Here's the jobbers that they put in. Personally, the term. I understood the term, Brit, but I'm just like, man, they're getting paid. They're getting their shine. They're on Friday Night SmackDown. They may be the local, so to speak, but you're getting some exposure. You're getting an opportunity here, and we don't waste our opportunities. So tell us, you're there on SmackDown. Talk about the experience.
Um, so it's funny because I'm one that really barely looks at her. I mean, no, that's a lie. I always look at my phone, but I'm horrible with listening to voicemails. And sometimes I think I'm responding to texts, and half the time I'm not. Hence, earlier today when I text you back, and I was like, "Whoops," I'm horrible. I get so sidetracked; it's bad. Um, so one day I listened to my voicemails. I was like, "Let me just go through them." So I did, and I hear a call from Kristen from WWE Office, and I was like, "This is a joke." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's not a joke. Like, she's the real deal." I was like, "Great, I missed out on my opportunity. This was like last week." So I was like, "You know what? I didn't miss out on anything. Let me just pick up the phone. I'm just gonna call and see if they have something else that I can possibly get my hands on." And so I called back. She put me on a brief hold. And then she came back and she's like, "What are you doing next week? We have something for you in Providence, Rhode Island. Is it something you'd be interested in?" And I was like, "Absolutely. Yes, I'm gonna, not go into work that day. I'm gonna let them know I can't work." Um, so I made sure, obviously, I worked out, got myself into shape because this was TV, right? This is like the real deal. Um, I was like, "Oh my God, this is all happening so fast," because I remember a few months back, I think that's when April, had gotten signed with WWE. She actually was supposed to work an NYWC show against Roxy Cotton. She went for the tryout, got signed. She couldn't do the show. She decided not to do it. So they had me go in for April against Roxy. And everyone was like, "You should try out, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "No, I'm not ready." Then a couple months later, that's when that opportunity came knocking on my door. So I was like, "Oh my God, this is great. Like, it's kind of fast, but I'm going to take this opportunity." Um, so drove to Providence, got out of the car. Everybody's like, "Oh, who's the new diva?" And I was like, "Oh my God, this is great. It's exciting." But I was like, I'm also scared at the same time. So I've always been taught that, going into something, you want to make sure you say hello to everybody, even if they're the janitor, because you don't know who's who. So I did. I said hello to every single person. The first person I saw there was Beth, actually. So her and I had a conversation the entire time. She introduced me to Vince McMahon, which was awesome. I met Fit Finley. He's the one who choreographed our entire match. So downright, she's a great all around person. So I was very blessed. It was actually between myself and Alexa. They were deciding who was going to go into the match. So it wasn't like a set person. Like, I went there not knowing if I was actually going to be on TV. Um, and then they had me try on different sets of gear. And Laurinaitis was like, "Okay, that's the gear you're gonna go out wearing." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh my God, this is it." It was just fun. It was a good time. And I felt bad because, they had to choose one person over the other. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, Alexis, she's doing great things now. So
And that's the thing, man. I mean, when you look at that time period, and by the way, just to reiterate, you mentioned Alexis there. It kind of got cut off a little bit. So besides,
oh,
who's the other?
sorry.
That's all right. No, it's okay. Lexus, the other girl
Yeah,
that was there. Now, all right, just remind people who Lexus is.
she's the one who, I don't know if she's still on Impact, but she was on Impact. I'm pretty sure she's still on Impact. She's married to, oh my God, I forget his name. She was in WSU. Her and I wrestled a couple times.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I believe she's still on Impact as well. Oh
Yeah,
geez, now that's gonna bug me now. Who the hell that was? That's gonna piss me off. But
I
well,
forget who she's married to.
yeah, it's either not okay. No, I was about to say Madison Rain, but no, that's not Madison Rain.
No,
Okay.
and it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that Nevaeh. It's
Oh,
oh,
Jake Chris Nevaeh. Jake Chris's wife Nevaeh. Yeah, that Nevaeh.
yeah, not her, not her. It's Lexus. She went by Lexus back in the day.
Okay. So all right, we'll go with Nevaeh then. Okay, so Nevaeh who went by Lexus the day. So wait, yeah, wait, you said Nevaeh, right? Yeah, that's Jake Chris's wife.
No,
No, not
no, not her. Lexus.
okay, that's gonna bug me now. I'm
She's
gonna
from Boston.
Oh, Alicia Edwards.
Alicia Edwards. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You said all right. You see now,
Because Lexus Nevaeh was her name, I think, back in the
yes.
day.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got a gripe with you for a second here. We'll have some fun with this because here's the thing. Like when Matt Stryker was like, obviously we all know Matt Stryker, teacher. He's done some NYWC. He's been around, Matt Stryker.
Hmm.
There was another match striker who was Lex Thatcher's kid from Heartland Wrestling Association, but the difference was the match striker that we all know, the teacher match striker, Les Thatcher's kid's match striker was Stryker as opposed to Striker that we know as an announcer and wrestler. So I can understand confusion as
Yeah, I mean, shoot, like I've gotten hit in the head way too many times, so it's really and plus I haven't been around more than half of these wrestlers in such a long time. Um, so I couldn't remember like yeah, Alicia, like
okay. So
sorry.
that's okay.
Uh,
But actually, this brings me to the next one. Because this actually brings me to the next. You actually just segued, even with our minor spot. Okay, here's the thing. People, this girl has had concussion. We've talked about your concussions on the show before, but all right. As an epileptic, I too have hit my head. I've had 15 staples in the old noggin, so it happened.
Jeez.
Yeah, you know. I mean, we're both damaged, like Danity King. We thought that we should let you know. So,
Yep.
any so the old Lexus that she's referring to is Alexis Nevaeh, who was in New England Championship Wrestling. The big feud around that time was her and Mistress Belmont for Sheldon Goldberg's promotion. She would later go on to be Alicia Edwards, and she was also on Wow Women of Wrestling. Eddie Edwards' wife, as we were discussing. Yes, she's still in Impact Wrestling. So there we are. It was between you and Alicia Edwards, and they went with you. Continue on. Then we get to the match.
Yeah. Then yeah, the match happens, but it's funny because Stryker was there at the time, and he was asking me what name I wanted to go by, and I was like, oh, right now I'm going by Brittney Savage, but obviously they can't do Savage
Yeah.
because of Macho Man, hence, but it is really my last name. But I'm like, okay. I was like, then I'll do Brittney Carter, and they're like, well, you can't. No, sorry. I was like, I'll do Brooke Carter then, and he was like, oh, you can't do Brooke because we just had a girl on last week who was Brooke. He's like, so we'll do Brittney Carter, and I was like, okay. And he's like, now, what do you have an extensive background in? I was like, I was like, I danced when I was like 5. So there you go. You have an extensive background in dance. I was like, I kind of like stopped dancing like 2 months in, probably. It's fine. So
All right, now you see, this is where I have to cut in there because I mean, a girl who dances in there 2 months. I mean, attempted dance, which is a lot of girls do dance, but a girl who does a downward dab, would that consider being extensive with the downward dab? I've always go on about the downward dab, man.
I mean, hey, my dance skills have gotten so much better. Definitely not. I mean, I was 5.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I wasn't a fan of ballet.
Uh,
It was
but hey,
terrible.
oh, all right. Here's the thing. So you're incorporate pop culture here. So you're like Aunt Viv in that episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where she absolutely sucked at ballet and being like a ballerina where she just kept twirling, twirling. It looks so awful. Is that what that kind of was like?
Which reference is this? This isn't the aunt, right? Because
Yes.
the aunt's like she kicked ass. Like, that is not me.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm saying at the beginning. The beginning, she
Oh,
sucked.
the beginning. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, with Aunt Viv, the original Aunt Viv,
Yeah.
Janet Hubert.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep.
all
No. The how she ended up getting into dancing and those moves, not me. No. I actually, funny story, not to like I mean, because we're kind of still on a topic, but not to segue away from
oh,
wrestling. But
just go. This is what we do. Go.
it is true. So I was like 20 something when I decided I was like, let me try it out again. 20 something, not a good idea. So I bought the point shoes and everything. I bought a bag. I was like, this is it. It's my time to shine. I got in there. There was like 16, 17-year-olds, and I'm like, fuck. And the teacher's like, Brittney, you're not allowed to curse. And I was like, shit, sorry. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Gotta go. Not for me. I am not Julia Stiles in Save the Last Dance. Like, it was the last dance for me because I was out.
The reference. You beat me to the reference. Now, here's the thing. As a 2001-year-old watching that movie, I mean, 9 years old, and you have the great Casey and JoJo in the background. I'm going crazy, crazy, crazy just to think about you, baby. I mean, come on, man. Save the last dance. So you are not Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze. There ain't no dirty dancing going on.
Oh, hell no. Bad. My best friend and I, Cece, the one I used to always mention, shout
Yes.
out. So we would watch Dirty Dancing in my house, and I was like, let's just try the moves. No, bad idea, bad idea. Because we would try it, and I would bump into the couch, and just, it was, I'm not a dancer. I try. I'm definitely white girl wasted when I dance, even if I'm not wasted.
I was about to say, little Elton John, me closer, tiny dancer. No, ain't your style.
Mm-mm.
So, all right, I got two more references before we get back to wrestling. I got to get these out. It's in my system. Got to get you out of my system. Bow Wow, T-Pain. There's another reference. Not mentioning that reference, but here we go. So, so you're not like Elton John. I'm still standing better than I ever did. Look like a true survivor. Feeling like a little kid. You're not still standing. You be on the floor, white girl wasted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you're also kind of like Phil Collins in Genesis. I can't dance. I can't walk. I mean, yeah, that's you.
Definitely me. I tried doing Zumba with my daughter the other day because she has like this little kid Zumba on her thing for school. So I was like, all right, I'll do it with you. She ended up sitting on the couch. I ended up trying. Not okay. I tried doing Footloose. Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting. Yeah. Good times. Hey, at least I try. A for effort, right?
All right. Well, here, fellow boy band lover. I mean, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees. Those are some cool ass moves. Did you try to do like As Long as You Love Me, where they're dancing with the chairs and whole nine?
Oh, yeah. Back in the day. Way back when. If I try to do that now, I'm gonna pull a hamstring or something.
Okay. What about Bye Bye Bye? The infamous
Oh,
Aaron
yeah.
Spencer's. Yes.
I
Yeah.
still do that. I did that the other day, actually. I had old school
What?
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys on while
Okay.
I was cleaning. So I had like a paper towel in one hand doing bye 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 and Windex in the other. It was good.
I love this woman, people. I love this woman so much. So, okay, now, again, before we get back to wrestling, because you see, now you're piquing my interest on toward this. So, one
You
hand,
could be a fly on the wall.
damn you. One hand is it's just Windex, and the other hand's doing the bye bye bye. Don't really want to make it tough. I just like,
You have to do the bye bye bye. You like spray and then you bye 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 down the mirror.
yes,
It's a good little thing that got going on. It's a good system.
it's a good rhythm. That's what I
It
mean.
is. It is.
All
I
right.
mean, as long as like I don't break the glass or anything, I'm good.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, bye 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 with the Windex. I gotta tell you something else about yourself. Let me tell you a little something about yourself, Brittney Savage. So you text me, and here's the funny part. So, guys, I don't know when the podcast is going to air, but I did a podcast with my boy Chris from the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. Right? We were talking about Smart House, and this one sends me a text message of "Baby when the lights go out" and the creepy guy from Five, and it made me laugh because I was watching it back so we could talk about the movie, and I get to the scene where Ryan Merriman and his boys are doing Slam Dunk the Funk in the living room, and then here your ass comes texting me about when the lights go out, and then the creep and the strike, and I'm like, this girl.
Oh my God, I was dying. When it came on, I was like, I have to send this to Mike.
Okay, now first and foremost, I don't like that guy either, but you picked out the two pin points of that video. The strike after he does it before we get to the next dance sequence, and then the whole "give me a chance to prove I'm real," and like he looks like he has a scrunched up nose, and he's just like, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, and I'm glad you sent me both of those parts.
When it came on, I was like, oh my God, this is hysterical. I have to send this. The
What?
scrunched up nose. I can't. Can't. I was trying to explain to Brooke. I was like, this guy creeps me out. And she's like, who? Which one? I was like, the guy with the brown jacket. She's like, why? I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's hard to explain.
Yeah. So for those that have seen Fives, all right. It's a beautiful thing about SoundCloud is I will put this in the description. If you've not seen the video, wake the hell up, people, because it's awesome. Five, when the lights go out, not the UK version where they're looking through like the viewfinder and all that good stuff. The version that came out in the States where they're at the bowling alley and it looks like he's making out with the chick at the end of the video when like the friggin' security guard's looking through and it looks like he's making out with the girl in the okay, see that was great just because it's like, hey man, where do I go to make out? Bowling alley. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The bowling alley. What? Time to break it down because you're making me hot. Oh. So, He's still like the DJ. But see, people nowadays would classify that as cheesy, but for us, that's what we grew up with. That's 1998. So, and again, the Europop era. But it's like, all right, how did you? First and foremost, I'm going all over the place. But how did you start watching Five when the lights go out? Was it in your playlist, or how did this come up before you sent it to me, which I still am dying laughing about?
Okay, so I put on YouTube the other day,
Okay.
and I typed in Backstreet Boys, and just like a whole bunch of different like old school pop came up, and then Dream was on there,
Okay.
and then
Pump the
I
brakes
was,
for a second. Pump the
you know what? Yeah, okay,
pump
pumping.
the brakes. Pump the. So this, this girl is on Instagram and she puts on Dreams He Loves You Not, which is so funny because all right, I did an actual there's if you go back to the Pop Culture History podcast archives, I did the exact same day because what's funny is in 2001 their debut album came out the same day as O-Town's debut album in 2001, which again, so you had He Loves You Not and Liquid Dreams around the same time period, which is cool as hell. So you're listening to He Loves You Not, and people say whatever you say about Melissa Schumann now with the whole crap that's going on with her and Aaron Carter and Nick Carter, whatever the fuck. So ignoring that front, Dream being signed to Bad Boy Records and having songs like He Loves You Not and This Is Me, and the remix This Is Me featuring someone named Loon. And Loon, I just liked it because ever since that I met you, and he's like trying to talk like this. And it's like funny with the rap freestyle. But this is the time period that we're focusing on. So you're listening to He Loves You Not, and I'm like, that is my jam because it's a good song. For those that remember the video, they're in the pink, they're dancing around. It was good. So
It
yes.
really was. Yeah, that outfit was amazing. Their like little costumes. I
Mm.
used to be obsessed. I'm like, oh my god, I want one.
Did you
Never
ever?
happened. I'm
I was
surprised
about
I
to,
never made gear like that. Oh, I think you know who used to have gear kind of like that? I want to say Velvet Sky had gear like that. And I never made gear like that because she had it. But I think she did because I was like, oh, that gear is so pretty. It reminds me of something. That's what it's from. Dream. Okay. Got it. Noted.
that's like early Beautiful People where she had like the pink. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember?
Yes, I would
Yep.
probably say like
Back then.
yeah. So when her and one Angel Williams, aka Angelina Love, debuted in Impact before they weren't even the Beautiful People. They were just Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. Then they got the
Mm-hmm.
name, and then they started wearing like the pink. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like 08 to 2010. Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. See, I still like have a little bit of memory with some stuff.
No,
Just bad at names, apparently.
you're not.
Sorry.
You're not that bad. I was just trying to figure out. Wait a minute, Jake Chris's wife was was in the WWE.
No, but I was right. It was Alexis Nevaeh. I was right.
No, you were right, but I'm just saying there's more than one Nevaeh. You know,
Well, that's why I was like, not that Nevaeh, not Jake Chris's wife, but the other Nevaeh, Alexis
yes,
Nevaeh.
not the one
Yes.
that's teaming with Jessica, not the one that teams with Jessica Havoc on the Indies. No, not that.
Yes. Yeah, not her.
Um,
Not her.
but again, just like yeah, just you sending me five was just hilarious. And the guy, I mean, I don't have a beef with the guy. Apparently, you do. Him and Daniel Bedingfield, you just fucking passion. It's ridiculous. And you see, your daughter doesn't even understand the hatred for the creepy guy in Five. She doesn't even understand it.
Well, I don't like teach my daughter hatred. That's why when she asked me, I was just like, it's hard to explain because I don't want her to be like, yeah, you're right. You know. So I'm just like, oh, keep it to myself. Never
You're just like,
mind. But she's gonna be 6 and she asks a million and one questions. So I'm like, nothing.
just
It's fine.
it's hard to say, Brooke. It's hard to say how I truly feel. I get you. I get you. Well, you don't
Yeah.
want. Well, that's the thing. You don't want to. Don't want to imply some negativity and hatred on your daughter, especially during these times. For God's sake, you want to raise them.
Oh yeah.
You want to raise them right.
Exactly.
Yeah. See,
Mm-hmm.
I got a new name for you. You're GMB, Good Mom Brit. That's what you are, Good Mom Brit. See,
Oh, thanks.
you're welcome.
I'm a GMB.
Yes. Okay. You're GMB. Let's talk about 2009 for a minute here. Going back to the match because this is what we do. We'll sidetrack, but I love it. And this is why it's always. Anyway, back to you getting crushed like a bug, and then you're on the way down like Ryan Cabrera with that cell. Anyway, so the match starts off. She pretty much puts you in the corner, gives you a beat down, stomps you, and then she has you in like the old gut wrench backbreaker that I love so much. And again, you're screaming in that too as well because she's got locked in that backbreaker, and then she just leads right into the glam slam, which just Probably one of my favorite Grand Slams in the history of the Grand Slam, because it's like when, all right, I'll give you an image. So 2002, WrestleMania 18, when Stephanie McMahon and Triple H had their whole blood, and she was with Chris Jericho, the WrestleMania 18 main event, right? Like that, it's the little nuances. That face that she makes when Triple H grabs her hair, then pedigrees her. Oh my God. Like it's sweet satisfaction. He got his revenge on the ex-wife in the storyline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, and you see a lot of these nuances, but this nuance is great just because it's like you're putting over her move because it's her move. It's an impactful maneuver. And then you scream, ah! And then boom, slam. That Phoenix is your victor. It's those little things that really add because it just shows how much the impact of the move is. And I think we were talking about before how much of a great seller you are.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, and it's just, even though you said you were green and you're starting, I mean, it just shows that like, you made the most of your opportunity, and it just shows where you would go from. We mentioned WSU and New York Wrestling Connection, but it just shows like the work that you put in being the professional wrestler and professional that you are.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. So, all right, you want to talk about screaming on the way down like Ryan Cabrera with that glass slam, because it wasn't a impressive glass slam.
Honestly, it was fine. Um, that ring was like the best ring I've ever worked in, obviously, because it's WWE's ring. But it was soft. Like, didn't feel anything. Pretty much. Like, I don't know. She was great to work with.
All right, I'm just saying, man, because the scream does not go unnoticed. I think that's what you have to do, because it's the facial expressions too, whether it be a scream or just showing. It's kind of like Alicia Fox. You know what's funny about this? I think like years later when Beth Phoenix was going on a tear on everybody, and it's also kind of like Awesome Kong too, because when they brought in Karma, and like when Beth Phoenix got laid out Alicia Fox with the Glam Slam, or Karma, Awesome Kong laid out Alicia Fox with the either Implant Buster or the Awesome Bomb, right? Like it just shows the impact of the maneuver, and that helps, and it goes a long way, and it just the scream adds to it, and I love that. And going back to this matchup, again, 2 or 3 minutes, I think you made the most out of the 2 or 3 minutes that you had, and I think a lot of them did. Like Jenny Taylor, watching her match before we even went on this, I'm like, again, what you need to do, Beth just comes in, Beth crush, Glam Slam 1, 2, 3. It's what we had here, but I mean, this would propel Beth Phoenix to what we would lead to the Late Cool feud, and then the year after that, the Divas of Doom with her and Natalya. So this would also just help launch Beth as being the killer that she is, and Late Cool, who was, the mean girls at the time, with WWE propelled to that storyline. So again, you were paving the way.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. No, I mean, friggin' this was something. Well, I got my ass kicked. Well, you took that ass kicking. You took that ass kicking. But it's true. But it's true. I think people don't need to don't. All right, I'll give an example here. Francis Kipling Stevens, right now, evil Kip on the Indies. I love Kip. I love Kip to death. Here's a guy that went from coming out to hypnotized by the Notorious B.I.G. He's this dancing like hip hop nerd, and it's funny as hell because he's funny as fuck what he does with the gimmick. He's doing a lot of things in NYWC. He's doing his thing now in Creative Pro as Evil Kip. You know what I'm saying? He's a heel now. Watching Francis Kipling Stevens doing his thing as a heel. But recently he was on Raw. He was one of the guys that got squashed by Eric Rowan, and I'm like, he did a great job of, he wanted to see what's in Eric Rowan's little cage now, which turned out to be a spider. But then Eric Rowan kicked the bejesus out of poor Kip. But he was there to do what he did with his job. And I think a lot of people don't give a credit to a lot of the enhancement talents that we have. I mean, for God's sake, Carmella, who's in WWE, her father was an enhancement talent back in the day for WWF. So, I mean, it's just amazing just to see, like, the times you're on TV and the times and the moments that he created and how we make the most of them. Or, we just get involved with these specific opportunities.
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally agree.
Now, for you, I got to say, like, right after this, like I said, I still followed you from, again, WSU with you. And by the way, all right, people, if you guys have not watched some Brooke Carter and Miss April, some badass matches at WSU, man. And it's just, yeah, and then NYWC, of course. I mean, hell, you're a former Starlet champion. I was very happy to see that you were in that list of Starlet champions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, man, I think on the Northeast, you're repping the Northeast, and you rep Long Island proud, man. You were repping Long Island proud, Brittney Savage.
Thank you. I did it for a lovely, 12 years?
12 years, what have you, man. But again, it shows. Like I said, your work doesn't go unnoticed. Your work does not go unnoticed. And I'll be honest with you, isn't it amazing, like right after that, people in their video games, whether it be SmackDown versus Raw, the series around that time period, people were recreating Beth Phoenix versus Brittney Carter in their video.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this is a thing.
Well, how
It's cool.
it
But I
is.
was like, wow. And then there's like, I think one or two videos, and it's like, wanna be beautiful people, Brittney Savage being hazed by the beautiful people. I'm like, oh my God,
Oh, yeah,
people.
people. That's right. Right. Whether they're beautiful, whether they're just people. I gotta say this. I think here's what I was pissed about. We've talked about this in the past. I really think at the time TNA should have picked you up. It is what it is. But I think well no,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And the thing is too, like you're all around like the era. I mean, like you mentioned AJ Lee coming in. I mean, I think a year after this, if I remember correctly, maybe like 2011, she was on season 3 of NXT. Like they did the season where Daniel Bryan was the big hit, but Wade Barrett won. Right, that was a year after this. Then you had Loki win Caval at the time, and then here comes AJ Lee. You know, in season 3 with the likes of Caitlyn, who we would later go on to see in there, and Naomi was in there. So with you and Miss April, I think, and there's that infamous video. I think what were you guys outside like hooligans, and you kind of like said your goodbye to her, if I remember that correctly, or
Yeah,
hooligan.
we were outside of something,
Yeah,
some restaurant. Yeah, in Jersey.
and then here you are, y'all were saying goodbye, and I gotta say, but here's the thing, what's great about tag teams and chemistry, and you two have, but you two were very good friends, and I gotta say, just again, you guys showed that bond and that chemistry in each and every match that you had, whether it be in WSU or what have you.
Yeah, we definitely did. And I think I've said this a couple times. Like, April and I, we weren't even tag partners. We just went into a WSU show one day, and whoever was supposed to wrestle Roxy Cotton and Social for the tag titles, they didn't show up. So the Mick, who was the promoter for WSU back then, he was like, "All right, Brittney and April, you guys are gonna wrestle against them, and you guys are gonna go over and win the titles." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it was pretty cool. It was definitely a fun time because once again, still green, but here we are.
And you
But it
beat
definitely
him.
helped me.
Yeah, and you beat him for the straps, sister. You beat him for the straps.
We we did. We beat them. I think winning those titles definitely helped me want to advance more in my career. Um, and it made me become more focused on training and trying to become better. So it definitely helped.
Yeah, and I think it absolutely helped. And I think when you look at that time period again, like you go from WSU, you do the WWE track, do your thing in NYWC. I got to give a shout out to our boys in the Beer Belly Bandits, Kaysen, Pritchett, the whole line. We always do it every show because
I
they're all.
know.
It's true. You got to give those guys credit
Of
because
course. No, they're great.
the thing is, I remember watching Kaysen's ass, and I say it like that because I remember watching Kaysen's ass, Mr. J. Tackleberry over there. Like, I knew that dude. I love that dude. That dude is an amazing guy, and a lot of people don't give a credit to what JT does, whether now he's a heel, and they know what Bo does. And I think there's a lot of people in the NYWC locker room that can learn from guys like that, and Spider, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
And
I
then
agree 100%.
yeah, but you as the Starlet champ, you just being a badass around that time. I mean, what's amazing is like you could just. What's amazing about you is you could just do whether you were like the mean girl, or whether you could be the white meat baby face, as they say, white meat baby face. You good man. Like you were a true pro, and I always enjoyed what you did and Shine as well because I still say this today. I mean, watching an early Stu Young against blonde-haired Brittney Savage at the time, like Sue Young is another one. I mean, obviously, what she's doing now with Impact in the Undead realm and as this, the Undead Bride, like from where she was there, and I know she was under a WWE developmental contract probably around 2012 ish, around that time period, if I'm remembering correctly. But she was under the
Hmm.
developmental contract. She leaves. She goes and does work in Shine, and she goes all over the place now where she's at in Impact. But watching her early stuff, I mean, you could see that there was this person who was passionate, as you know, who you've gotten to know, Sue. Someone who's passionate and someone who's just very motivated and loves professional wrestling and really shows within her work and how she applies her craft and what she does with what she's being presented today with that Undead Bride character and how that's evolved.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely. She's a good person. Um, when I moved down to Florida, she was there helping me like straight away. I forget who introduced me to her. But as soon as I moved down there, she helped me move all my stuff into my apartment, and we just became connected with each other, and then we wrestled each other I want to say twice we wrestled each other. So she's definitely knowledgeable when it comes to wrestling. So I'm very happy for her that she's somewhere, where she can show her work ethic. So.
And besides, I'll be honest with you, that great gimmick is, I love it. That's a creepy ass gimmick, man. The undead bride, you got the undead bridesmaids. The whole overall presentation is awesome of that. And I remember, and I know you've talked about this a couple times, like Luscious Latasha, and you've had a lot of people like in the Florida times. You always post a lot of the Florida memories, which I enjoy seeing because there was a lot of times. Well, no, it is true because what that time period in Florida, it's like the Northeast, like Florida. Besides having obviously the Performance Center and a lot of these promotions, well, TNA at the time, the Impact Zone, and what we've seen in the Florida wrestling scene in Florida over the years, that's another hotbed for professional wrestling.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. My complex was where more than half, or at least half of the NXT people lived. So it was pretty cool. I was always constantly around, the environment. So it was fun.
Yeah, man, but I gotta say, making the most of the opportunities, and yeah, if you want to see, I'm gonna put the link in the description because what a match it was. Beth Phoenix putting you in the corner, backbreaker, glam slam, 1, 2, 3. It's memories though, man, and I gotta say, as a young man who was finishing out his high school tenure, and as someone who was a friggin' nerd for professional wrestling music, and as we touch upon here in this show a lot, and as someone who has been to a lot of the NYWC Sportatorium show, and when they were at the Deer Park Community Center all those years ago, it was great just to see you apply your craft and do your thing and just do the job as it needed to be on that episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And you've come a long way since.
Why, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So now this takes us into the other topic because we covered a lot with the pop culture. This is what that show is, pop culture. Man, isn't it amazing to see the influx of wrestling into pop culture? Like, for example, people talk about The Rock, right? You know, Mummy Returns, Scorpion King, and how he came into the movies. And now John Cena, Dave Batista. I think one of my early memories is I remember watching Figure It Out, Summer Sanders. Man, they had the Big Show when WCW, when Big Show was the Giant. He was one of the guys on there that got slimed, and one of the people that they brought in. I know Nasty Brian Knobs was in there from the Nasty Boys. There were so many great influences. I mean, Billy Gunn was on an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, for God's sakes. I mean, there was so many influxes of wrestling, and I loved it. You couldn't escape. I think Chris Jericho, Le Champion, AEW, and all over Chris Jericho being the legend that he is. Like, watching early Chris Jericho, like WCW Chris Jericho, Cruiserweight Champion Chris Jericho, 1998, I'm figuring out, it's absolutely mind-boggling to see, but I think it's just great that we've had that influx of wrestling and pop culture, and obviously, I think you can agree with me on this, Regis Philbin, who deserves a spot in the Celebrity Hall of Fame. The talk shows help a bunch.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Now, for you, like, what was your early introduction to seeing wrestling and pop culture kind of mesh? Like, we mentioned like the talk shows, but what was the first thing that really saw you? I mean, I mentioned Billy Gunn on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah. What were some like the early memories that influxed you that you saw with wrestling and pop culture kind of intertwining, intertangling, if you will?
And definitely when Vader was on Boy Meets World. And then I forget who it was. I want to say it was Vader again on an episode of Married with Children.
Oh, snap. Okay.
I think it was Vader. If I can remember correctly, I think so. I remember Bud dresses up I forget what he dressed up as. Crap, never mind. What did he dress up as? I forget, but I'm pretty sure it was Vader. Oh no. Am I right? Are you
Well,
Googling?
I am. But well, no, I'm not going to Google. Of course, he was Frankie Stachino's father
Well,
on
yeah, of
World.
course. But I'm pretty sure he was in that episode too. It's gonna bother me.
That's going to bother me too now. Yes, there was an episode. I think there was a no. I think so. Yes, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Al wrestled.
Yep. There it is. Well, actually, here's the thing. I remember. Okay, this will take you back, but yeah, it's on there. We'll touch upon this in a little bit, but yeah, there's an episode Married with Children. Vader. Just type it in there, or just type in where Al Bundy wrestles. We'll leave it at that because again, people we've hit our heads a lot and sometimes we forget. But anyway, we digress. Like we talk about Vader on Boy Meets World. Like I loved it when he was beating up Corey, beating up Eric, and Mr. Feeney put the Matthews boy down. Make me, I'd be glad to, Leslie. So I mean, his role on that was just great. He used to just do woof, woof, woof. It's like the man is barking. It's great. And then and his brother, when they were Thanksgiving, where he's teaching he's teaching his brother how to woof. Woof,
Mm-hmm.
woof, woof. It's awesome. It's the Kino family. And I mean, Ethan Suplee at the time, who's lost a lot of weight, by the way.
Yeah.
My
He
God,
looks great.
he looks amazing.
Yeah.
But at the time, being the big dude that he was, and I think a lot of people remember, what was it? 16 Candles and 400-Pound Men, the Boy Meets World episode, where Corey's trying to help Frankie rekindle his relationship with his father,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to the house, and obviously this is the same day as Topanga's Sweet 16, so he's going back and forth managing them. Brother Love was in the episode because Vader was fighting Jake the Snake
Mm-hmm.
to get a shot at Shawn Michaels' WWF Championship bout, and then Sweet 16, and then obviously at the end they're dancing, they're kissing, and Vader's doing a moonsault at the end of in the ring at the end of the episode. It's memorable times just seeing Vader on Boy Meets World. Obviously, the episode where Mankind Mick Foley, friggin', the cute one staring at me at that Backstreet Boys poster.
Yeah. Nick Carter, yeah.
Here's the thing. I'll be honest. That Backstreet Boys poster that, he threw Eric up through the ceiling and just, the cute one staring at me. I'm not going to let people. Pathmark, Islip, New York, Long Island strong here. I had that as a sticker. That photo I had as a sticker.
I think I had it as like a poster, or it was like one of those little, 8x10s from a magazine.
That's the thing, man. I mean, oh my God. But yeah, it's so many moments like that. And I remember mid 2000s, I remember seeing John Cena on an episode of Hannah Montana, and I'm like, okay. And then another reason I'm saying,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, because I get it, because again, Hannah Montana was the thing at the time. It just came out, like it's only like a year or two into Hannah Montana. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, no, I'll be honest, the only reason why I watched that show was Billy Ray Cyrus, because I achy breaky heart. So it's different again with the times with Disney and the whole nine. But yeah, just amazing to see the influx. I think one of my other earliest memories, like we talked about The Rock and how he transitioned from movies. We said the same with John Cena, Batista. I remember seeing Triple H on Saturday Night Live also helped with The Rock, and there's that one where The Rock was just as the woman with Tim Meadows, the ladies' man. Do you remember that sketch?
Yes.
Okay. I also remember Triple H was in Blade Trinity in 2004. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was this was before The Chaperone and all those movies that were on the WWE films, which were, I don't want to say they sucked, but hey, most of those movies kind of. So yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, those friggin'. Oh, those characters. But yeah, no, it's just amazing just to see like the influx that it had. And I mean, there's so many people that really just show like, and I'll be honest with you, Topanga Lawrence, this goes back to Boy Meets World as I'm thinking this and we're progressing and the whole nine here, but Topanga Lawrence, like Danielle Fishel herself, like she's been to a lot of PWG events in California. Like she loves Leo Rush, who's on WWE's TV now. So I mean, those guys and gals are wrestling fans, and it was great to see them, intertwined with that on Boy Meets World.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's pretty cool.
And that's the thing, man. Like for you, what else would you say, like really, that you enjoyed the influx of pop culture? I mean, whether it be in talk shows, whether it be in movies, like really, what sticks out for you? Because obviously, we go the pop culture route. Like I loved when Brittney Spears was on the famous Jet Jackson, for God's sake, singing. Sometimes, like it's great to see those crossovers. But I think for you, what one really sticks out for you?
Oh, way to put me on the spot there, Michael.
You're welcome.
God. I'm trying to think, like, well, definitely Boy Meets World, because I'm a huge Boy Meets World fan. But you want me to give you like a WWE movie that I enjoyed?
Sure, if you want.
That's what you're wanting?
Sure, we can talk about that.
Oh, crap.
Crap.
All right. Honestly, the one that I thought was like good was The First Marine with John Cena.
Oh, the one with Robert Patrick from the Terminator 2? Yep.
Yeah, that one I actually enjoyed. I love Triple H, but I did not like The Chaperone. So I'm with you on that. I was not a fan.
I'm Ray Bradstone.
But I do have to say, Fighting with My Family was actually, I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, so the Page movie was very, very good.
Yeah, so I want to say the Marine one, because Not gonna lie, I've never saw the other ones. But that one and Fighting with My Family, they were two of my favorites.
All right. All right. I got to stop there. So the Marine 2 was the one that Randy Orton was supposed to be in, and he got hurt. He injured his collarbone. I think he got into some kind of wreck. And Ted DiBiase Jr. took the spot in Marine 2.
Right.
No.
Wait, which one wasn't Anderson in one?
Yes, he was in Behind Enemy Lines, Columbia.
Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't seen that one either. I
It
could have,
sucked.
yeah. All right, I thought it was the Marine, but okay, yeah.
So Ted DiBiase Jr. was in the Marine, and then afterwards it was pretty much the Miz's franchise.
Miz. Yeah.
Randy Orton was in 12 rounds too. Well, 12 rounds was with the first one was with Cena, and then the second one was with Randy Orton.
I think I saw the first 12 rounds, but I can't really remember too much about it.
Well, I think with the Marine, I remember seeing it, and I just remember they've got a hostage. It's my wife, and then he's dropped.
It wasn't bad though.
It was not.
It wasn't that bad, and I actually enjoy. And it's not because I've been a fan of John Cena and his work. It's just I think he's a decent actor.
Oh, we know about your love for John Cena. There, screaming out. We talked about that. We know about your love for John Cena.
Oh, that was but like it was like back in the day, back in the day.
Hey man, I can't look at him the same now. The only reason why I can't look at John Cena the same now, that hair has got to go.
I honestly don't watch wrestling.
Don't even worry about it.
I don't.
I'm filling you in on this bullshit. He's got the most ridiculous hair now with the acting and stuff. If you've seen him on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, right? It's terrible. It's just okay. Now, see, I can understand why you don't want to watch wrestling now. And I can be honest with you. Like, I am dedicated because I do podcasts and I've been a wrestling fan since 2002. Like, I rewatched the Attitude Era. I came in right after the merging of WWF and to WWE and WCW and ECW going out of business and the start of TNA. So it's one of those things where, like, we've been through, a lot of us as wrestling fans have been through the good, the bad, and the ugly of professional wrestling, right? But now it's just like with everything that's going on with the coronavirus and what's
it's weird.
It's like it's really
weird.
hard to watch professional wrestling where there's no people.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Ladies first.
I honestly tried watching AEW the other night.
Yep.
Because I was like, you know what? Let me just try it out. And I mean, it's nice that they put other wrestlers into the crowd, so it wasn't like nobody in the crowd. But I couldn't watch it. I felt so bad because I've done empty arena matches and stuff like that before. It's just awkward and uncomfortable, and you're doing like all this stuff. But I mean, at least it's TV, so they're not like doing it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I felt bad because like, you feel every move, and the way you don't feel those moves is because you have so much adrenaline from everyone getting behind you or booing you, and that's why I felt bad. I was like, wow, can't. I had to change it. I was like, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Before we did this show, I was watching SmackDown because tomorrow and Sunday are WrestleMania, which I'll be all right. We're going to talk about this topic. So, and I know you don't watch wrestling, which is okay because usually I'm the one who fills you in on a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's bad, but
don't even worry about it because I'll be honest with you. A lot of us and people that are going to listen to this don't even want to watch professional wrestling right now because it's hard. And I think the problem is, like, I watched this past week's AEW. Great wrestling, but it's just like and I understood what they were trying to do, like the heels on one side and the face on the other side, right? So, but it's hard when there's not a lot of people reacting and just the overall, like, adrenaline rush, like you said. Like, I watched tonight's SmackDown, and my dad even quit like 20 minutes in. He's like, no, I'm not going to do this. But here's what they did. They put on the entire, because they wanted to put content in the show, right? They put Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 24, the whole entire retirement match on there, which one of my favorite matches of all time. But I've seen the damn match already, so I don't watch a 12-year-old match. So I just walked up because I'm like, I love this match. It's one of the most iconic moments ever. I'm sorry, I love you. Sweet Chin Music 1, 2, 3. But I've already seen the damn match, and so I can just walk away. And then when they come back to, there you go. When they come back,
okay?
Yeah.
Are you that upset about the wrestling that you're trying to have a match yourself over there?
So as I'm leaving this in. So as I was going, it's it's talking about that diatribe. I accidentally knocked over my speaker.
Oh my god.
That's how passionate I got into that. So as I was watching,
Yeah, for real. You're like, F that match. Damn.
so as they came back with the match between Dolph Ziggler and Tucker, Heavy Machinery, I'm just like, okay, we'll watch the rest of the show. And then John Cena had to, all right, he had to put over, through these uncertain times, and we're wrestling and and I'm like, okay. Do you think that they should have canceled the damn show? Because everything else was being canceled, but WrestleMania is the only thing not being canceled. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's cool because, everyone's still at home and it is an unfortunate time right now. So, I mean, regardless of what's going on, they're still not just putting their bodies on the line to be entertainment for everyone who's stuck at home, but like there's a serious illness out there right now, and they're chancing themselves getting sick and potentially giving it to somebody else. So, I mean, kudos. Just so that way, we're not just trapped inside of our homes, just bored out of our minds. I think it's cool. It does suck again because there's, nobody in the crowd. But I think it's nice that they're breaking it up into 2 days. And I did hear that they made the WWE Network free right now,
Yep.
so anybody can watch it. So I think it's awesome that they're doing something like that during this hard time.
So I agree with your aspect on that, by the way, because I
Thank you.
also, I look at it like, no, I look at it from all variables. Like a lot of people think, oh, why didn't they cancel it to, June? Because, Madison Square Garden put it there. But I'm
Yeah.
like, who the hell knows if we're even going to have shows in June because of what's been going
Mm-hmm.
on here. And
Yeah.
May, I know their next pay-per-view was supposed to be, I believe, May 10th, looking at the listings. And I'm like, it's supposed to be Money in the Bank, but I'm like, I don't even know if there's going to be a pay-per-view next month because there's so much level of uncertainty right now with what's been going on. But I'm like, I understand because I believe they were the first, and they've always pretty much built this up. They were the first live event right after 9/11 happened. It was right after 9/11 happened. They did a special show for it, honoring the people, and putting on the wrestling show for that, which I understand because the show must go on. But it's like with this, it's really hard. And I think John Cena never said it best tonight. It's the learning curve. Like there's been some man moments, there've been some great moments, but it's like it's a learning curve for everybody that's not used to working. And like you mentioned, like empty arenas or where there's no people there. I know you have experience with that, Miss Brittney Stat. You put it. But it's like a lot of people are just, trying to, I guess, it's a learning curve. But I mean, it's something to help adapt you in your career and something to learn from going forward in case there's a time of crisis, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the way you have to look at it from like a wrestler's perspective is just go in there pretending like you're going to train. Because when you're training, you're just around your fellow wrestlers. So that's basically the mindset they kind of need going into this. But obviously, do a better job than if you're in a ring training, No pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. No pressure. I like how you put that out there. But no, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, these guys and gals have been putting on some kick-ass matches. Like I was watching NXT, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and what's his face, Damian Priest, who was formerly Punishment Martinez and Ring of Honor. Like these guys, like they're big, agile guys, right? And they're killing each other. They're putting on this great match. There's a spot fest. He goes over the rope like a suicida type dive, right? And I'm like, man, if there were some people in here, this crowd would be ruckus right now because there's this big ass dude, the agility, and they can work, but there's no people, so there's no like ooh ah type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is rough because these guys and gals are killing it, but it's like it's not the same without the people.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Hey man,
Definitely not.
well, but still, one of the best empty arena matches ever was The Rock and Mankind from Halftime Heat, which I still will talk about every time. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, heat.
Yes,
Sunday heat.
Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
watching
the best.
yeah, watching MTV back in the day, man. Yeah.
Those were some good times.
Yep. Or,
That
by
was
the
when
way,
I enjoyed wrestling a lot.
uh, hey man, if you guys want to see an early Shelton Benjamin on that, one of my favorite themes, one of the most underrated themes on the sidebar here, when Shelton Benjamin, before he came out to "Ain't No Stopping Me," no, there was an old theme he used to have. It was like it's all about the Benjamins. Damn straight, I'm dominating. This is a complicating. And then he's like, desperate times calls for desperation, and that's what I'm coming with, making N words legit. And I'm like, they said N words. They please. Oh my god! And so I was like 10 years old when this happened. He was fighting guys like Sean Stasiak from Planet Stasiak on friggin' Sunday Night Heat. And And I'm like, this song is the bomb. And then they put him in single like months right after that with Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas. But I'm like, oh my god! So I love that theme song, and it's a theme song that doesn't get a lot of credit. So people type in Shelton Benjamin, Desperate Times. It's all about the Benjamins. I'll put it in the description. It's a good song. It's a good song. Yeah.
Oh, you got all excited there. I remember. It's funny because I remember when I was younger. How old was I? I don't know. Maybe like 10.
All right, hold on.
9, 10.
Wait a minute. Hold on, pump the brakes. I'm gonna do another. So you're 30. You're gonna be 33 this year.
Thanks.
Well,
this month. Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay. Wait a minute.
You're gonna be 28. Don't even. You have not hit 30 yet.
All right.
Can't even. When you're 30, 2 more years, then you can talk to me because then I'll be 35 and I'll be like halfway to 40, and then I'll still be like, Michael, listen.
And I'll still be like, Britt, shut up, you're beautiful. So that's what I'm gonna say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So beauty, strength, and dominance. 3 key elements. I always say that with each and every show that make women the work of art that they are. Brittney Savage. Hello. So anyway. back to 1997 where Brittney was 10 years old. Or what? No. Yeah, something like that. What the hell year were you born? Wait, 33. Hold on.
I was born in 87.
That's what I just said. So you were 10. Montreal Screwjob, sharpshooter. Ring the bell, ring the bell.
You just had to double check because we're both not mathematicians, so it's fine.
Yo, I was born in 92. Fucking 90s, man.
Yeah. Oh, God. You were 5 at that point in time.
I was.
Okay. So when you were 5 and coloring in your coloring books, I was 10 years old with my WWF volume CDs, deciding to have matches with myself. So my parents' door was the entranceway, and I'd be coming out there as Triple, and then I'd be doing drop kicks on the bed against myself. It was a good time.
As I almost broke my back there trying to pick up that microphone because I got so excited before. So I can actually attest to that as I got older. By the way, I was not colored in my coloring books, but I was in kindergarten. Mr. Kennedy's class. Kennedy, not that Kennedy, but Mr. Kennedy's class. Oh, some bitch. So looking back on those times.
Oh my God. Sorry, kindergarten at that point in time. What? It could have been like summertime. You don't know. You might not have been in kindergarten yet. You could have been coloring. Or swimming with your swimmies. You don't know, Michael. I don't remember the exact month.
Shut up. Just shut up. I love you. Okay. So we're talking about this time period. I don't even know where the hell I was going, but we'll get there. So
all right, Bon Jovi, take it easy. You're halfway there.
So talking about that time period, I mean, and you just being 33 this year and I'm 28. So
thanks.
You're welcome. So like I said, we almost had, all right, well, you were, all right, this goes back to Summer Jam so we can get back on point here as I'm trying to keep my composure here. So around that time period, like when we talked about in the Summer Jam episode, like you were like 15 and I was 10 going into Summer Jam watching that stuff. We were talking about Daniel Bedingfield's creepiness. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, if I had...
So creepy.
Yes. So if I had met you at that Summer Jam, I probably, if you were, okay, was this around the time, this was before the downward dab, and then here's the thing, if I had met you, I probably would have liked you, because again, like and the reason when I say that before you start laughing, I was the kid that got with everybody, and you could tell I'm a very passionate person, I'm a very nice person, hell, I knocked over my speaker during this goddamn show, so you could tell I'm a very vibrant human being, so I think and that's the thing, like, I'll be honest with you, girls and myself, and I'm not acting like a play, I just crush a lot over here, I'm not Big Pun.
All right, Big Pun.
Yeah, not Big Pun, for God's sake, God rest his soul. But I enjoyed being around the girlies, man. That cooties bullshit, fuck that noise. That cooties bullshit, hell no. Because there were...
You mean you weren't like an alfalfa back in the day?
Nah, man, no.
A He-Man Woman Hater Club.
Yes. I did have the oh god, friggin' we touched upon the penis tip, which we joke about, but I think everybody that friggin' haircut.
That just sounded so bad. I'm sorry.
I
Just like
know.
how you said it just now, that sounded really horrible.
Yo, man, that friggin' Aaron Carter, crazy little party girl haircut. Oh, I had that shit.
Oh my god.
So, so I had a little that going on, but I will always make fun of you for going to see. Okay, like what were you at the time? Like 21 when Aaron Carter was in town, and you went to go see Aaron Carter. There was an Aaron Carter concert that you were at. You were in your 20s, and like again, Aaron Carter, and we're grown ass men and women there.
Listen.
Listen.
Yes, I think I was 21. Yeah, because I was able to drink. So yeah, I think it was in Amityville.
So you were drinking and vibing out to Aaron's party. Come get.
I was.
It's very hard to listen to him perform that as an adult. And same with that I Beat Shaq. I'm not gonna lie. It just is very it's very hard to listen to Aaron Carter. And I'm not just all right. Carter's got some problems now. He's got fucking face tattoos and he's batshit crazy on Instagram Live. But before those days,
Oh God.
and I'm not trying to make fun of him. I truly hope he gets help. And I mean, a lot of people suffer from mental health and mental health issues. I truly hope the boy gets help. And I'm not making fun of him. But before this time period, when he was doing that, I mean, like Aaron Carter was the shit. Like, I mean, 2005. I remember Saturday night and we're going to have a party, and he was in Pop Star with Alana Austin, who was in that 2001 Disney movie Motocross. I mean, yeah, I mean those were the times, those were the days. But I think with Aaron Carter is how he tries to portray himself now, and this is the laughing part, not with what he has going on with his head and what have you. But the funny part is when you're trying to act hard and trying to like act like you're a little bit of a rapper and you don't know what said I claim, his exact words, by the way, which is hilarious to me, and I'll tell you why. It's like, bruh, you could say you don't know what said I claim, but bro, you were on the Jimmy Neutron soundtrack singing "Leave It Up to Me" and "Hey Jimmy, Jimmy" and freaking saying, "I Want Candy" on Lizzie McGuire. Don't talk to me about what said I claim. Stop it.
Oh my Lanta.
Thank you, Candace Cameron. So, but you understand what I'm saying when you're trying to act hard.
Yeah.
Jimmy, just all right. And
That's like Marshall Mathers trying to be pop.
yes, exactly. Beautiful analogy, beautiful reference. So it's just one of those things where, I'll be right. I grew up in Islip Terrace, New York / East Islip, because I'm just gonna say it. It's the exact fucking same thing. Because
Yeah. Uh-oh. Sorry.
popping tonight. Yes, I'm a sucker for cone pools and manicured toes. Hey, so so EI and the Dirty Terrace, as it was known, the Dirty Terrace. Um, so a lot of the kids that I went to school with, again, acted ghetto, and they thought they spoke Ebonics. Dare I say, back in the day, it was called Jive. Listen to some Bee Gees, Jive talking. So,
you're talking like the hand jive. I was like getting excited. Hand jive and
stop it.
sorry.
Oh,
sorry. Age shows.
Okay. The hand jive. Jive talking like the Bee Gees, like the another term for Ebonics, Brittney Savage, and your dad or dabbing ass. So. So problem that I had was, I mean, Central Islip was like, hard. We had East Islip, which was the suburbs. I'm like, trying to act like this. We live in the suburbs. Hell, this ain't even Queens, all right? Like, stop it. We live in the suburbs of Long Island. There was a crime not too long, like a couple years back, and it was with a kid that graduated 2 years before me, right? I get along with this kid. My buddy Steve, who graduated a year before me, gets along with him. But this dude shoots up somebody's house, doesn't shoot anybody, but he shoots up at the house, right? So it's on the news. It's on News effing 12, people. It's on News effing 12, for God's sake. And you see people getting angry. Oh my God, no, this is not what happened in our town. We're a lovely neighborhood. You don't see a lot of crime like this. I'm like, I'm not lying here, but this is how it was, because you didn't see that shit go down in East Islip, because, oh my God, this is what happens in our town. Like, you would see, like, shit go down at, like, the fucking bar, which, I mean, shit happens at bars, but it's like, oh my God, no, they shut up at the house. I mean, it doesn't necessarily happen in the EIEIO. It's popping tonight. That's not how we get down.
Oh my Lanta.
I don't know if that's what happens where you get down over there, and I believe, what is it, the Lake Ronk? Is that what that is, Lake Ronk?
No, I'm in the Nesconset.
Okay, Nesconset. Well, Is it Lake Ronk around there? I don't know, man.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, man, you move around a lot.
Oh, okay, sorry. Did not mean to cut you off. I do a constant, but like because I'll forget because I'm like 90 years old and my memory goes. Um, but recently, like literally 2 minutes up the road from me, a man who was supposedly fishing at like 9 o'clock at night, sounds awkward, but very sketchy. But he like reeled in a dead woman. A dead woman. Like, first of all, how are you gonna be fishing? Who, like, I don't believe homeboy. Like, how are you fishing at 9 o'clock at night? And how are you reeling in a woman? Sorry, what? And then a couple nights before that, the BJ's that I go to, BJ's, I know it sounds weird, that I go to in Islandia, they found a woman dead over there. A couple days beforehand, I was like, oh my God, hide. I'm gonna hide.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
What? I don't even know, man.
Crazy. It's
I don't.
nuts. It's
The world,
crazy.
the world is nuts. Yes, it is.
Seriously. I'm like, wow.
Hey,
Right.
like, be honest, like 10 minutes where I was, like months ago, we had like a fucking prostitution ring going on here. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to judge people because I'm not about judging people. But crack hose, trailer park crack hose. That's all I'm gonna say. It's what it was. Two trailer park girls go round me outside, round me
Round
outside,
me
round me
outside. Round
outside.
me outside.
So again, this is not because again I got family in the Carolinas, and not everybody from the Carolina is trailer park trash. But this particular scenario, and like I said, I don't judge people because that's the type of stereotypes that we have. But it's not true because not everybody's like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's when people got pissed about when the Jersey Shore first came out because they thought they were giving Italians bad name. It's like when they had Party Down South over here, which was a half an hour in Merle's Inlet. Friggin', they were doing the show there, and it's like that's how every Southern person acted. And everybody got out fucking raged. So it's not describing their character, but they were crack hoes, prostitution ring, shit that happens over here because it's a tourist city. A lot of people in the neighborhood, a lot of people spending that money, spend the cheese, big pimping, 2000 style Jay-Z. So shit gets unnoticed, and then fucking prostitution rink city over here. You go over there, you my bottom bitch. Talk about a little Butters, talk a little South Park right there. So I mean. So yes, I understand about the crime.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy.
But if you were to talk about like the main subject besides your match, which we discussed, and wrestling and pop culture, which we discussed with a lot of the shows that we named, I will add this on that note. I will say, as far as wrestling and pop culture, I think it's also a great mesh. I think it's also a great scenario because it's a perfect example. Like look at like how we have Total Bellas and Total Divas, right? Like on E and those shows.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's not a wrestling fan and they say, "Oh my God, I just watched Total Bellas. I just watched Total Divas," and they do this wrestling thing, it inspires people to want to watch and maybe get into professional wrestling. So I think both worlds help each other, and by coinciding, you get people interested in both particular words and particular genres.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. I just watched Total Bellas last night,
How,
which I had no idea that Bree and Daniel Bryan's dog passed away. So I definitely tearjerker at that point. I was like, oh my God. So that was sad. But yeah, I still watch that show and I still watch Ms. and Mrs.
I love that show to death, man. Ms. and
They're
Miss.
hysterical. They're so
It's
funny.
it's funny, and also I just think with the friggin' oh my God, but they were dinner and friggin' my dinner was like $50 and yours was like 200 plus bucks. When she was pregnant, that was hilarious. Like when she's pregnant, she just keeps putting it on and on and on and on and on. I think it's organic because you got to understand, like Miz and Maurice met like when he was hosting the freaking Diva Search for Christ's sake, like
Yeah.
2006, and then their friggin' relationship blossomed into both their wrestling tenures, and then just here we go, boom, bada bing, bada boom, Miz and Mrs.
Yeah, he had a crush on her like right from the start.
Well, I mean, as a man, I can't blame him.
Well, yeah, no, definitely not.
So, pourquoi, as her
But
song was, pourquoi? Voulez-
I just think it's nice that he had a crush on her. He pursued her. now they're married, doing their thing, and they're going strong.
Yes,
Hey, in this wrestling business, it is hard to be in a stable relationship with another wrestler. Very hard, very difficult.
I bet, and I'm
So
sure.
props.
Oh yeah, well I bet. I mean, we're not going to get into any relationships of yours on the air here, but I can understand where you're coming from with the concept because I know I'm talking to you. I mean, this is not the time and the place to talk about this, but I mean, it happens with professional wrestling couples. Like some situations happen, and it's hard to maintain the relationship.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yes, but as far as that goes, I think what's great besides voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, Maurice. I think it's just great just to see how in love that they are. Same with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella.
Yeah.
And now
hmm
Nikki Bella and her boo, for God's sake. They're pregnant both at the same time, for God's
Artem,
sake.
I know, isn't that crazy? That's cool. I think that's awesome, though.
It is, and I think you're bringing another life into this world. I mean, you got it. I'll be honest with you, man. You got a cute daughter. You got a sweetheart daughter who's going to be 6. And I mean,
Thank you.
you're welcome. At the time that you and I've been talking and we first started doing these shows, like, and now she's 6, and I'm like, I still can't believe it. First grade, right? Or kindergarten?
Kindergarten. Yep.
Kindergarten. Okay. Only reason I remember is because 1998, I was 6 years old, and and I remember Mrs. Rich was my first grade teacher. Here's the funny thing about my school, right? So first grade I had Mrs. Rich. Second grade I had Mrs. Britt, who then would go on to retire, and then third grade I had Miss Castrovinci. Fourth grade Mr. Enton, who I believe is still at the RCK school. Then
Wow.
then fifth grade, who actually the dude I had Mr. Meinberg, who lives now in Georgia, right? But I was originally supposed to have I think Mr. Grello, but Mr. Grello wound up retiring, and then here comes this new dude, Mr. Meinberg, who loved him some New York Yankees. I mean, yeah. So I mean, it's very interesting just to remember like your teachers and stuff. I'll be honest, I had this teacher in junior high school. His name was Mr. Martin. Cool guy, but there was a thing that always kind of iffed me about him is because if you know sports, like New York, right? Baseball, Yankees,
hmm
Mets, right? He was a Red Sox fan from New York.
Oh, wow.
I was like, there are going to be some problems, man, just because, the Yankees Boston Red Sox feud. And it's also,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like if you're a Jets fan, like you automatically hate the New England Patriots. And I can't stand the New England Patriots. And
Oh, God, me either.
Tom fucking Brady is son of a bitch, deflate those balls. Anyway, um,
Isn't he like done with football?
I think so. I hope
I think I heard he's done.
I hope he's done. Fuck him.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, 2020 just shit's been happening, like
I just found out Bill Withers died, and I mean, I love Bill Withers. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
I heard that too. It's crazy. We had Kobe Bryant
Yep.
and his daughter, and then Tom Brady's retiring, thank the Lord. And then we have the coronavirus. I mean,
Just
2020 is just booming, not
20.
for the good.
No. And then we have our birthdays. Mine's in 10 days. Your and Brookie's is on Easter. That's coming up soon.
Yeah. Hashtag quarantine life birthday.
Quarantine. I don't mean to laugh, but I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So
Fuck.
quarantine. All right. So to close this before we close this, quarantine life birthday, right? We've touched upon it, right? We touched upon wrestling, we touched upon your match, we've talked about pop culture and wrestling and everything coinciding in between, but quarantine life. So my birthday, April 13th, we're not going anywhere. Maybe get some takeout. I don't know. I'm
Maybe
just
after Brooks.
yes. So Brooks, well, yours is at the end of the month, right? Yeah, yours is at
Yeah, mine's the 29th, and this is supposedly supposed to be done on the 30th. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what do we have? Like I said, yeah, I'll probably get some takeout because we can't fucking go anywhere. So I'm gonna try to make the best of it. But what do you have planned, what do you have planned for little Brookie?
um, I mean, it's Easter, so
It's Easter. So
I mean, it's just a lot going on. She's gonna wake up, and the little bunny is gonna come the night before. I sound like an idiot right now, so
little
we're
Buddy's gonna come.
um, I don't know. We're basically we can't do anything with family, which is terrible. Just because they're saying like 5 or less. Um, and my brother, he is still working because he's essential. Um, so I mean, with Brooke here and then my mom here, like can't have everybody here, especially if my brother is working because I don't want to chance anything. So my nephew's birthday is actually the 7th. So I went to my brother's and my sister-in-law's house last week and kind of like swapped presents for the kids for them. So it kind of stinks because, we're so used to being together every holiday and whatnot. So Brooke doesn't eat ham or anything, so I'll probably just get like pizza the night before, because that's honestly, the only fast food that I'm doing during this quarantine. Because, sorry, I'm not trying to drive up through McDonald's or Taco Bell and somebody sneezes in their hand and then touches my food. Like, absolutely not. Don't know what they're doing. So I'd rather go to the pizza shop, get pizza, see what they're doing, make sure they're wearing gloves, change those gloves a few times. And then we'll just pretty much chill, low key. I had to reschedule her birthday party, so that kind of stinks, but better safe than sorry.
Oh, of course. And I mean, well, I wasn't laughing at your brother being essential. I was just laughing at the bunnies coming, the bunnies coming. So, okay. So, as far as food goes with quarantine life, I have only gotten Taco Bell once. Most of our moves.
Oof.
Okay, once. And
Oof.
I got
I love T-Bell and
okay. So,
can't do it. Next time you ride up onto Taco Bell turf, just think about it. Somebody could be like coughing in your burrito
thank
and
you.
you don't know.
Thank you. I'm aware of the T-Bell life. Thank you so much. So, but I only had Carside to go one night from Chili's, and we ordered a pizza, and that was about it. But mostly, like, I'll be honest, tonight for dinner, all I had was 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I kept it light, the old school, the classics, the PB and J's, man.
I usually do the peanut butter. Actually, lately I've been doing peanut butter and Cool Whip straight up out of a jar.
What?
What? I know my mom made a face at me when I said that just now. She's like, ew. So I think I told you, yeah, the last time we spoke, I told you like Brooke eats peanut butter, just straight up peanut butter, because that's what I do. So I kind of got her in that habit. Actually, I tried to get her to eat it on bread yesterday, and that didn't work out so well. But like, I really couldn't make her eat that, because I don't eat it like that. But yeah, no, I bought myself a little jar of Jif peanut butter, and I take my couple scoops of Cool Whip, light Cool Whip, if you will, and I put it inside of the jar, peanut butter, and I just scoop it up. It's amazing. You need to try it.
I'll have to think about this. Okay.
No jelly, just peanut butter and Cool Whip.
All right. I'll take that into consideration. Thank you, Brittany. Um, okay.
Life changer. I'm telling you. It's so good.
Okay, peanut butter and So now you being at the end of the month, what do you plan on doing? Or do you just plan on staying home, maybe a little this, maybe that, or eat some peanut butter and Cool Whip sandwiches for your birthday? What's the deal?
I mean, maybe a couple jumping jacks, sit ups, and squats here and there, because, old age. No, I can't.
Because
I mean,
stop it. Shut up.
I still can't like really leave the house. I mean, honestly, I've left the house a couple times, but it's not to like do social gatherings. It's to, take a risk and get some food and that. So, um, other than that, I'm just basically going to stay home. I was supposed to go out with a couple of my girlfriends for some drinks and whatnot, but that's put off to a later date. Don't know when, but it's fine.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this before we close out. People stay positively proactive, whether it be what we're doing here, podcasting, whether it be just, whatever you do, working out, reading a book. Just stay positively proactive and try to make the best out of quarantine life and the uncertain times and unfortunate events that are happening now in this world. So just try to stay positively proactive, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Keep up with your routines too, because I feel like if you don't keep up with your routines by the time it's time to actually go back to work and normal life, you're not going to want to do anything. So,
Exactly. Now, before we close out, and I'm fucking trying to fix my mic, as man, I fucking slapped the shit out of my mic in that fucking, in the fucking
so
tree.
aggressive.
But
Trying to have matches over here.
hey, man,
So pissed off about SmackDown.
hey, man,
Creating his own match.
fucking just you would. Oh man, I was about to say yeah, drop me with that cutter over there. Friggin' try. Okay, I'm about to tease you.
Sorry, we need a 6-foot distance.
Fucking thank you. So distancing.
I'll
Yeah.
go in there with a whole bunch of like friggin' what is that shit called? Oh my god.
What?
The gear that they wear for the coronavirus to go around disinfecting.
Oh,
I'll put
like
that
the
stuff
face
on. I forget what
mask.
it's called.
The face mask
A
and the.
hazmat suit. A hazmat suit.
The hazard suit. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, face mask, hazard suit. Yes, drop me with the cutter. Oh, you know what else we could say? Because we talked about this. Why don't you try to go back up top and try? No, not up top. Excuse me, because I know you don't do
Middle
top.
rope.
Middle
That's
rope,
right.
middle rope, axe handle, Macho Man style.
And I don't drop the elbow from the middle rope either because it scares me. So it's got to be right on the canvas.
Just all right. Fine.
Dropping bows on the canvas.
Drop bows on them. We drop bows on them. Throw them bows. Yes. So, Brittney, we will be back with another future episode very, very soon. Hell, we don't even know, man. It's fucking quarantine life. We got to do something and try to make ourselves go, and the mind's going, everything's flowing, the whole nine. But I got to say this to you.
For real.
For real. So,
For real.
for real. So, promote the Facebook, Twitter, and can we promote the Instagram now? Because I think you do have a new.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do. But I had a situation with like some creeper on Instagram recently.
what?
So if you already, so if you haven't noticed, I haven't really been posting too much on that Instagram as of late, but I still am keeping an eye on it. I had super creeper on there. This is why I got rid of all that stuff. But I'm still on there. So it's Instagram is at the Brittney Savage, and then Twitter is at the Brittney Savage.
Yeah, don't even do anything on Facebook because you know why? Fuck Facebook. I had this
I don't
conversation.
do anything on there.
We had one conversation about this, and it's so funny. One of my LFC girls, go back to listen to Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official Andre Fighting Championships podcast, cheap plug. So we were talking.
Cheap plug.
So, so like I do at every show, like we do, Britt. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, promote yourself, right? It's all about the promotions and how social media. She's like, fuck Facebook. I have a grab. People send me stupid shit on this. I just want to, trying to me to subscribe and like to this. I'm like, I just want to post stuff and promote my stuff, and people won't leave me alone. I'm like, yeah, I know it sucks, and people just send you weird messages, and like you said, the creep there. What is wrong with people? Them fuckers.
I legit, no kidding. I felt like it was in a Lifetime movie.
What?
I was like, yeah, I was like, oh my God. Like the person like just kept harassing me. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, what do you want? He's like, you. And I'm like, okay, block. I even text my friends and I was like, can I like go to the cops with this or something? Because I feel threatened. Like I'm scared. Like, this is fucking scary.
Well, unfortunately, they do that because people just want to slide into the DMs. Pun intended.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just fucking just block those idiots.
And that was super nice. I was like, have a good day.
Well, if it got any worse, you just report them, and then you can have their friggin' account get deleted.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried doing all that stuff. I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna block.
So
Now that I say this, the person's probably gonna listen and create a different account. Oh boy.
oh boy.
Oh boy.
So follow Brittney on Twitter at @TheBrittySav and Instagram.
But don't be a creep.
Yeah,
Please.
don't be a creep, please. Be nice to her. And the Brittney Savage is the Instagram, correct?
The Brittney Savage, yeah.
Okay, follow her. You
Twitter and then Insta. Yeah.
She's not on it that often, but follow her.
Hey, I've been making a comeback on the Twitter a little bit. The Twitter.
Come on. Right. If you're trying to come back at me and say I've been making a comeback on Twitter, not the Twitter, you sit down over there.
I'm trying to become a rapper like Aaron Carter. Don't come at me, bro.
Fuck out of here.
I'll 8 Mile your ass. Boom.
On that note, this will conclude episode 70 of the Pop Culture History Podcast. Britt, it was a great time as always, taking a trip down memory lane, talking some wrestling on the way down like Ryan Cabrera and talking some pop culture. We will do another one soon. Do you have any final words for the people? Stay safe, the whole nine. Say something. Don't be creepy, by the way. Don't be a creeper.
I think you just took all the words out of my mouth.
Reiterate it. Reiterate it, kid. Reiterate it.
Yeah, basically just stay healthy, stay safe, don't be an asshole, don't go outside. We need to overcome this sooner than later. At this point, it's going to be later because right now Long Island has the most cases with over 100,000. So stay home unless you absolutely need to go out because you're not just putting yourself at risk, you're putting elderlies at risk and not even anybody at this point in time at risk. So stay home. Thanks.
Stay home, be safe, don't be an idiot, don't be an ass clown, don't be an absolute asshole. Just stay in, try to be positively proactive, and yeah, that's our final words. We will talk to you in the next episode of the Pop Culture History Podcast. For Brittney Savage, my name is Mike Larkin. We'll talk to you next time, and everybody, thank you so much for listening.
4 years ago, I made my Max Wrestling Podcast special debut at Promo Series, and throughout that time I've had Knowledge Championship defenses, a Promo Championship defense, but this year is my toughest test to date.
Michael, how sweet, adorable, and cute is it that we have a promo bout coming up against each other? See, not only are we podcasters together, but we're friends, and because we're friends, that indicates that we know a lot about each other.
Brittney Savage, you've had an illustrious professional wrestling career. You've taken on the likes of Angelina Love, Velvet Scott, Jillian Hall, Maria Kanellis, Marty Bell, Veda Scott, Alicia Edwards, Sue Young, Heidi Lovelace, Allison Kay. The list goes on and on.
You have moves like Jagger. You can dance. Hell, we all know I can dance because you like to point it out every opportunity that you get. But let's not forget that I have skills that kills when it comes to cutting a promo. Hell, I am undefeated.
The names Brittney Carter and Brooke Carter are just like your career. History.
One of two things obviously are going to happen. Either you're going to defeat me, or I'm going to remain undefeated.
I am not that 17-year-old boy anymore, Brittney Savage. I am a man for the past 5 years who has put out content and who has talked to a lot of people, including you.
Your promo was in November, and I love nothing more than a good feast.
But for me, I'm looking to make history. See, this is not just a test for me. This is a test for you. This is the test to show that you can hang with Max Wrestling's finest.
See you then, bud.